Broadcasting live from the LoadingReadyRun underground orbiting moon base, it's the LRRcast.
It's the LRRcast for that date.
This date.
Yes.
This date, he said, pointing at the screen, which is only useful to people watching the video. Hello, hey everybody, it's the Loading Ready Run podcast with myself, Graham, and Paul.
That's three people.
With myself, Graham. No, wait. There's a semicolon in there somewhere. With Graham, parentheses, that's me, comma, and Paul.
That's me.
I don't know if you need that comma. Probably not. Probably don't. Anyway.
Hello.
So yeah, James is out sick with a cold become ear infection, and Kathleen is recovering from a cold herself.
Yeesh.
So
Weird thing, it wasn't actually like a PAX related cold. It was like, good thing you survived PAX. Here's a cold to celebrate.
Yeah, congratulations. Oh.
This cold was waiting for you in Victoria.
Yes, we had it prepared for you when you came home.
Yeah. It was like right at the door of the plane.
Yeah, but Paul's here.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, he's got the palsy and he's here.
Yeah, actually, yeah. If for some reason you didn't watch last week's podcast, check it out, and that will explain why I have the eye patch on.
But it's we're already seeing signs of improvement. So
yeah, actually, wait a minute.
Ooh, for the benefit of you watching the video, Paul's going to come forward and twitch his face. And for those who aren't watching the video, I assure you, it's solid television. Which way are you trying to go? There we go. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Dim lips is twitching. Yeah. So that's good. He was hoping his eye would come back first, but
So yeah, still got the eye patch, but I am improving. So yay for that.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks to everybody people who made some sweet avatars for me.
Oh yeah, I love your current avatar. It's amazing.
Yeah, like the bionic face.
It's great.
That's definitely, if this didn't improve for some reason, that would be my go-to option, I think. Definitely.
Bionic face. Yeah.
Bionic face. Yeah.
So this is cool. This is like old school podcast. When we first started doing them, when I still lived at my parents' place, I was like, man, we should do a podcast where we talk about the videos. And then it was like, we should get a guest from the rest of the people who help out with the videos every week. And then it turned into a whole thing. And now it's just myself and Paul. So we're going to be talking a little bit about last week's video, because there isn't actually a specific loading time for it. So the Men Easter edition. It's
a problem when we shoot videos on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Alex isn't around.
And we'll be talking. I'm gonna actually there's enough strip search questions that I won't actually talk about strip search by itself. We'll just move right on to Askler, which we just
Friday nights as well.
Oh, and Friday nights we're going to talk about as well. So the funny thing about Men Easter, this is the second time this has happened.
Men Easter.
Meester.
Yeah.
It's the second time this has happened, and it's not a big deal, but when I name a project in Final Cut, or in this case, when Kathleen names a project in Final Cut, that's not necessarily the end title of the video. But when you export from Final Cut, it still embeds that name in it somewhere. So the file was called the file name was called easterjocksplosion.mov, which was my intended name for it.
Because that was the actual name of
in the episode.
That's the name of the special.
The Easter Jocksplosion. But when you open it in QuickTime Player, the little title bar still says Men Easter.
Oh, because it's like the metadata for it,
I guess. And so, for some reason, Skylar, the producer at The Escapist, read that and was like, I guess that's the title. So it went up as Men Easter, which was a little odd of a name.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, though, it's nice to have it so that it, relates back to the original Men video.
I probably would have called it the Men Easter Special in that
or something like that. Yeah.
But yeah,
I remember actually way back in the day, when we were first doing Loading Ready Run, and when we were actually hosting the videos ourselves.
Yeah.
Very, very often, the file names of videos were just either based on like the original script name or various other, or just whatever name that you happen to be thinking of at really late in the morning when you finish doing it.
Yeah.
And so stuff like the Christmas Caroling on Halloween, the file was named Wienering. And just stuff like that. And so, we still have all those files, of course. And so it's funny to go back and look at, we had the database or first text file and then database that related which file name was actually which which real video. But
the only other time I can remember that happening, and it's a recent thing, I think it's something to do with the Final Cut update, was CMN was the working title, and that ended up going up as the name, and it was supposed to be the Couch Mall Network. Or maybe it was supposed to be something else. I can't even remember. I think it was actually had a different name, but doesn't really matter. So this video was quite an evolution. A bunch of us had like scraps of ideas that for something that we kind of wanted to do, but none of us had a formed video. And then the four of us, myself, Paul, Kathleen, and James, all got together for breakfast on Friday and sort of tried to figure out what we were going to shoot. And I'm trying to figure out what the beginning of it was.
It started with X ways to find Christmas eggs. Yeah, find Easter eggs.
Yeah, like that was there, but there was also a different idea that myself or Kathleen had that sort of got combined.
Oh, and the egg hunters.
Well, yeah, they got combined into the egg hunters, and the whole episode was going to be.
It was just going to be an episode of egg hunters.
Yeah, it was going to be like a parody sort of thing of like ghost hunters. Like there's a bit that we shot where it's like, what's that noise? Like, hello, is there an egg nearby? Can you hear us? Basically making fun of that terrible show. And I think we could have gotten, not to put too fine a point on it, I think we could have gotten 3 minutes out of that. But I think it worked much better as part of a thing. And so it turned into there was a definite, like, it wasn't an immediate leap. There was a definite, like, it's going to be an episode of Egg Hunters. Then what if that's part of a thing? What if we do like several things happening for Easter, and then someone was, I think it was Paul or Kathleen, was like, maybe Kathleen was like, we can do James's David Vanderpunch character again. And then it just sort of was like, oh, well, why don't we just do the men Easter special? If we're going to do that, let's just do it all on that network, because that gives us sort of a framework to use now.
Right.
And that was 2 years, almost exactly 2 years ago we did that.
Really?
The first one, yeah. It was 2 years. Yes. Yeah, 2011, yeah.
Wow.
I know.
It seems quite recent.
I know. We have a wholly different sort of sense of time for our videos. And so then we were like, all right, well, then what do we want to use from before? What do we not want to use from before? And we sort of, threw it all around. So we came up with the things we wanted to do for Egg Hunters. Like the name, the Easter Jock Explosion, stuff like that.
And then the Chuck Plank's new Easter special foods.
Yeah. Whereas before, the joke was Jack Plank's pork fried butt steak. And then
it was just rearranged.
It was that twice, and then the third one was Jack Pork's plank fried ass butt, or whatever it turned into. This time we were just doing like just joke foods. So, and I came up with the pre-microwaved marshmallow peeps as a drink, which just sounds awful. And then what was the first one? The seemingly reasonable one. It was bacon. It was a chocolate egg filled with bacon.
Chocolate egg filled with bacon.
That I could see. I could see that as a thing.
Yeah, it might actually exist. It might exist. I mean, bacon chocolate is a thing.
Yeah, and then of course take it to its logical conclusion of just a live rabbit coated in chocolate and filled with cream, which just sounds awful.
Just like force-fed cream.
Yeah. And then we wanted to bring back the Ultimate Face Punch Wrestling, which worked out well because. So Matt happened to be in town for Easter, which was great because it meant that we could bring him in to do Gridiron again. And then of course Paul's character
El Salvador
has a luchador mask,
Yeah.
So fine. And then we wanted to make up a third guy as well. And Beej's character, Eddie Barbell, is inspired somewhat by current WWE personality Zack Ryder, who's like from Long Island, and whose catchphrase is "woo woo woo, you know it."
Mm.
He's the self-proclaimed internet champion. I actually quite like Zack Ryder, for any wrestling fans watching. He's a self-made man. They weren't using him, so he went on Twitter and made his own YouTube show and called himself the internet champion and drummed up a bunch of support such that people at the shows actually started chanting for him.
Nice.
And then they were like, well, we guess we have to use him now. So I like that. Anyway, brief aside. And of course, I guess for the most part of that, you're facing away from
camera. I do.
I was really happy with your other two appearances in the video.
Yeah, so I mean, because we were like, okay, so we'll do the vendor punch, and how you shoot a vendor punch trailer is just have James punch different people.
Yep,
that's how we do those
apparently.
And so we did that, and James is like, so who am I gonna punch? And we're like, right.
A Nazi and a pirate and
because like at this point, but like at that point it's like Graham running the camera, and so it'd be just like James punching Kathleen over and over again. Like,
yeah.
And so it's like I'll be the two roles that you can play wearing an eye patch, which are the evil military commander, and then pirate.
Yeah, which was perfect.
And
and what I love about James's outfit for that, David Vanderpunch as Jesus, is that with the hair and the robe and the crown of thorns, he immediately reads as Jesus. But typically Jesus is shown with a full beard, whereas David Vanderpunch's Jesus just has the mustache.
Yeah.
So it still reads as Jesus, but it looks different, and it's just in this delightful way that I love.
That's the Vanderpunchness showing through, I think.
Yeah. Did he not have a mustache for any? I think actually he didn't have a mustache for some of his ones originally in the first video.
I don't
know. And then in place of the 5 straight hours of explosions while women moan was the a field of bunnies, or no, just like bunnies in a room full of landmines and dubstep.
Yeah,
which I really enjoyed. Bradley actually did not put the little dubstep loop together. That was something that we found on like freesound.org, and it's just it's like dubstep sample, and it's just that long. That is the entire sample.
That's all you need, really.
Works perfectly. That I mentioned this on Twitter. That stock footage of rabbits cost us $80.
Holy doodle.
Right?
Wow.
I mean, to do it correctly and not just steal something from YouTube, also be crappy. It's friggin', I mean, if I was generating HD stock footage, I would want to actually, get paid a reasonable amount, because how much does your stuff actually get bought? But that's the cheap one. That's on iStock shots like that were like 120.
And like the alternative is
you can get it in SD for cheaper, but why?
The alternative is, getting a bunch of rabbits and setting up a whole thing and setting it up is going to take more time than $80 is worth. So
someone on Twitter was like, I could have, like set up rabbits. Like, well, where do you live? I'm like, nowhere near here. So
yeah,
that's what happens.
That's what stock footage is for.
Yeah, we did in episode 3 of Strip Search. 3? No, episode 5 of Strip Search, the Duck Tour, when the captain is talking about Seattle Center and the World's Fair and the Space Needle and everything.
Oh, right.
That is not. We did not do a helicopter shot. That is a stock. That is a stock footage shot. Interestingly, because they repaint the top of the Space Needle fairly frequently for like different things.
Right.
That is accurate to the time that we shot the show.
Oh, so it was actually like a recent.
Yeah, it was.
Cool.
So worked. So that was fun for anyone who.
Well, and there was actually issues with like we couldn't actually shoot the Space Needle.
Yeah, you can't. One of the location producers, Will, on the show, you'll see him in the credits under the Penny Arcade category. He's worked on reality shows, like actual reality shows before, like the season of Top Chef that was shot in Seattle. And so he was looking into, the location permits and stuff to shoot various things. And if you shoot you can do the Space Needle as part of a shot of the Seattle skyline, or as we did, which was it's a stock photo thing anyway, and anything you buy from a stock photo site, you are free of obligation.
Yeah, presumably they had cleared it before.
Yeah. But a shot like that where it's like, this is Seattle Center where the Space Needle is, that's fine. A shot of just the Space Needle, $5,000.
Like people just sort of standing in front of the Space Needle or whatever.
If you use the Space Needle as footage, it's $5,000. So we did not do that.
Yeah, I just think that episode of Commodore Hustle, when
shut up,
Matt's getting his
Xbox
repaired. Yeah.
Hopefully, no one from Seattle Center is listening. There was also
we did it with a green screen.
You may have seen in the montage of all the different questions. There's a question there where I think Ty turns around. The sign says like Labor Day. I think it is. That was a question about. There's a piece of public art in downtown Seattle called Hammering Man. He's just a giant, like, he looks like he's cast iron, sort of like almost like a silhouette, and he's just hammering endlessly every day a year except Labor Day. And that was a piece of trivia that was on the Duck Tour, and we drove past it and we got a shot of it. The artist, we contacted the artist of it, and he's like, nope, can't, not allowed to use it. So we're like, all right, well, we'll just won't use that question then. So
yeah,
so there's an interesting piece of behind the scenes.
I feel like that should be public art,
right?
Like I feel that's like like when you sell a piece of art to the city.
Yeah,
it seems like inherent in that selling to the city is also the idea that people should be able to take pictures of it.
We couldn't use the first Starbucks, obviously. We couldn't use Pike Place Market. We couldn't use...
Really? Pike Place?
Yeah, right?
I didn't think Pike Place Market was like a...
Oh, no, they are...
entity.
Oh, yes,
itself.
they are. We discovered.
It's not just a group of stores.
No. Yeah. A lot of stuff.
This is tough. Like when we do Loading Ready Run, of course, we're basically we shoot very guerrilla bandito style. Just, run around, and if somebody kicks us out, then we go find somewhere else. Yeah. But when we were doing strip search, there's a lot more infrastructure. There's like all 10 people who are trying to get somewhere, and we have a schedule to meet and all the very tight timelines and all this stuff. So we couldn't just like we'll do it and see what happens. And also, like, we don't want the contestants to get kicked out.
Yeah.
And they're like, go do it. It's like the security guard told us we can't.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to have anything like that. So we wanted to make sure we were all on the up and up.
Mm-hmm. So,
Friday nights?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to discuss for Men Easter, and I don't think so.
No. It was interesting with the with the egg hunters thing, because of course we went down to the park and where we shot that, and we just shot a bunch of bits of Graham and Kathleen, pointing at things and finding eggs and stuff, right? And so when we were done with that, and we were sort of like, okay, so that's it for that, and we're sort of walking back to the car, and it's like, it's weird to sort of do that and be like, it's like, we don't actually have like
a video
of anything from that.
Yeah. Well, we did that on the Friday, and that's all we did. And then on Saturday we did we did the David Vanderpunch stuff on Friday as well. And then on Saturday we did, when Matt was there, we did, and Beach, we did all the face punch wrestling stuff. And even then, Kathleen started to edit it together that night, and I recorded all the narration so that she'd have stuff to do it to. And then so she calls me and she's like, I've done everything I can. It's not done. Like, I don't know what else to do. And cause then I had to go in and like add all the graphics and the transitions and any stock footage or other pictures and stuff. And it's one of those weird things where you don't shoot very much, but there's a lot to generate.
Right.
So it was interesting. Right. It took a long time to render those new Jack Planks things. I was using the wrong computer for that. I should have done it on the tiny god in here. Friday Nights, episode 2 of Friday Nights of the new season of Friday Nights, for which we need to find a new hashtag.
Apparently so.
Turns out
people do other things on Friday night. Bullshit.
That makes sense to me, right? But if you're doing like sitting at home watching the baseball game, the hashtag for that should be Friday Night. Because there's only one Friday night a week, or like going out with my girls, hashtag Friday night.
Right.
For some reason, everyone indiscriminately Friday nights. So if you look at that hashtag, it's like there's no one talking about the videos.
Yeah. Well, there's like a couple people, but it's kind of drowned out in a sea of other stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to change it to like.
But there was
Friday nights MTG or something.
But yeah, there's still lots of positive feedback on the Wizards forum and on the YouTube channel and all that. I mean, stuff.
With such a large and diverse fan base as Magic has, you're never going to please everybody. But I am pleased that there has been such positive feedback.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually the sort of ratio of positive to negative feedback is very heavily on the positive side, and I'm super thrilled about that.
And I think it's better than the first series of Friday Nights.
I think it is. I think that we are doing better as well. But yeah, I mean the main criticism seems to center around our acting ability, which that's what it is. I got no problem. Subjective. I think our acting is perfect for what we're doing.
Yeah. But
I think the kind of comedy that we're doing, our acting is fine for that. Like we're not doing anything super dramatic here, and I think our timing is great. So.
Yeah. Anyway, so of course this video was the Friday Nights was originally I was supposed to be in it.
Right.
I was originally going to be playing Alex's role.
Yeah.
And Alex was going to be playing Matt's role. Mm-hmm.
But as luck would have it, Matt was in town.
Yeah, because as we mentioned, he was in town for Easter, and so because of the whole palsy thing, I didn't want to,
it would have been too
just
to
weird.
Explain.
It would have been just distracting and odd to have me in it. So, so we swapped the roles around, and I think it worked out totally fine. Like I like how, and also it's nice to get Matt back into it.
Yeah, it was good to have him in it.
Matt will definitely be showing up in other episodes as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to show that he is sort of part of the Friday Nights universe still.
Yeah. This went through a couple different sort of ideas initially. Like it was part of our first brainstorming session that there would be an episode where we get really like hardcore into Magic Online and like multiple queuing and stuff. And I'm not sure when the pizza guy idea came in, but I that was definitely the brainstorming, which we did as a group, and I love that idea.
Well, that was the thing we figured out in the first episode. Actually, I think we just figured it out in the coffee shop when we were shooting that, is that in the Friday Nights world, everyone plays Magic.
Yeah.
So, the pizza guy is interested in Magic, the barista is interested in Magic.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm hoping maybe there'll be like a traffic cop that's interested in Magic at some point.
I like that.
Old grandmothers interested in Magic.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I was around during the Black Winter. Necropotence. I was totally going somewhere with that. Speaking of the pizza guy, so we were so concerned with the rewrites for how we were going to shoot for Paul's parts, because we knew that we had to sort of juggle it around, that we completely forgot that we needed someone to be that character. Someone that wasn't in our other videos. Like, we couldn't just get Beach to do it. For one thing, he was background in the first episode, and he might show up, right? So it needed to be someone who wasn't in our videos. As it happened, that guy, Blake, we had run into him at Yellow Jacket in the morning when we were shooting there and been like, you who loaned us your chocolate fountain during Desert Bus, because we said, man, we really could use a chocolate fountain, and he just had one and brought one by. We said, you need to come to the moon base and pick it up, because we've had it here forever. And he's like, I never know when to come by. And we're like, we're going there later this afternoon. Come by at like 3. And so he was like, okay. And then he showed up to pick up his chocolate fountain, and we were like, are you doing anything right now? Can you stick around for like half an hour and also be in this video?
We lured you here under false pretenses.
It was completely unexpected, but it worked out really well. The drop in the pizza boxes I love is like a punch to the end of the video. Just like pull up a chair. Thump. I don't think we did a great job of illustrating that everyone was playing on the same account, because there was multiple people, and so it looks like you're just playing together.
But the idea is that they're playing simultaneously.
Yeah. Yeah, they have like a bunch of different... I guess we should have done like some shots of like a bunch of different windows open. But it's difficult because there's no cube on right now.
Right.
And so we couldn't actually get shots like that. The video that you see, like the counting down between rounds, is actually like a replay of one of our MTGO Academy drafts.
Yeah, but they were playing concurrently.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the idea is that they're.
For anybody watching the video, this is root beer I'm drinking.
Ooh.
In case you're curious, it's the local Phillips Intergalactic root beer. It's really, really good. But just so you don't think I'm getting crunk while doing the podcast. But yeah, I was really, really pleased with not only the humor of the episode, but also the just how it looked. I think we did really well with like the lighting and the camera work and all that.
Yeah.
And we'd arranged for one of the local Magic players to come and be at the store, to be Kathleen's opponent during that shot, and he never showed up. And so Jer's cousin, because a couple people were like, they have the same last name. Is that Jer's brother? And it's not, but they are related. It's his cousin. Was in town visiting, and he's also a Magic player. And so we were like, great, Dylan, sit down.
he was actually just happened to be at the store, right, for actual playing.
I think so, or I don't know if he was there for playing or if he just was downtown, and Jared was like, wait, I'll ask Dylan or something. But he was nearby, if not already at the store, of his own volition.
Right.
So
nice.
So that's how you get to be in our videos, apparently. Just hang around.
Hang around Yellow Jacket in downtown, and maybe
it's bound to come
we'll wander by.
Yeah. So I put out the call on Twitter for Askler, and we've got, looks like 36 new tweets. So we'll see if we can bust through some of these. James asks, a strip search question. Always wanted to know, how long after an event do you record the confessionals? As soon as we can.
As soon as we can, yeah. We did basically right afterwards.
Yeah, we did, like, without getting too into the technicalities, which we'll talk about later, we did them twice a day. We'd originally planned to do it 3 times a day, but that was impractical. So we did it. We would do the confessional interviews after the social event and then after the competitive event. Yes. Yeah.
So we want to get people's reactions as fresh as possible. And you may see in future episodes that we sometimes are doing the confessionals sort of in medias res. Well, sort of like where,
like
at the actual locations where we're doing things.
Yeah.
Not in medias res.
Mikey, ! Asks, did the eliminated contestants go home? Did they get any updates after their departure from the house? They went back to the hotel that you saw in the first episode.
They are secluded.
Yeah.
So that they don't mess with anything.
And, I mean, I guess they got updates because
new
people would go. So
in the panel, and I think a little bit on the blogs of Alex's blog and stuff. Mm-hmm. They talked about that there was like the
the Coalition of the Fallen.
The Coalition of the Fallen.
Is that what Alex
called
it?
They started to hang out together. The ones who were left the show started to hang out together afterwards.
I definitely recommend that you check out Alex's comic, which is he was the first contestant eliminated. I just want to confirm the URL. Yes, wanderlustkid.com, and he did a comic about he and Ty hanging out after the show was over. Johnny Nero asks, Team Bone or Team Boneless? Now, Paul, you don't use Twitter.
No.
So you won't have seen the absolute shitstorm going on Twitter today. Because KFC, I think, in the States is debating or has a poll or has just said, I'm not sure, but boy, do people have opinions, that they're going to do boneless wings.
Oh.
Now, I don't go to KFC.
Right.
So the shits I give are microscopic in number.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with Anthony Bourdain, who I saw weigh in on this, that if it doesn't have a bone, it's not a wing. It's a chicken nugget, which is fine. Nothing wrong with chicken
a chicken
nuggets.
Wing without a bone is like a chicken tender.
Yeah, it's not a wing.
Right.
Case closed.
Yeah. In general, I would say that I'm probably anti-bone.
For ease of eating,
ease of eating, yeah.
But then I want like a chicken tender. I don't. But the problem is if they do like boneless chicken wings, they could easily just be like they're like mechanically separated.
Right. I mean that is the advantage to the bone thing is that makes it obvious that it is actually chicken.
Yeah.
But I mean you can tell they like switching between real deboned chicken and chicken loaf is a completely different
So I don't
argument.
I can't think of an appropriate analogy that would be correct in this situation, but without a bone it's not a wing. Regardless, I don't care, and I would probably just rather a chicken strip.
My favorite thing is when the cafeteria at my old school used to every once in a while do like the barbecue rib.
Ooh.
But it was like the super shitty, like the barbecue sort of McRib almost style, right?
It's like formed.
So it's like formed, but then it's a formed patty, but they actually form the bones too. It's like formed, and so there's bones, but they're bones, but they're also made out of meat because it's just formed meat stuff. It was weird and creepy.
It's very strange. Sean asks, in videos, Graham is sometimes referred to as G. Is this a real life nickname? Yes. Not many people call me G. Mostly Matt. But I got it in high school from one of my favorite teachers, Mr. Bradshaw.
Handy for text messaging too.
Yes, that helps also. Does anyone else have nicknames? I mean, Jer.
Yeah. I guess technically that's a nickname.
His name is Jeremy. I started calling him Jer in high school, but that's about it.
Nicknames that are actually like used on a regular basis.
It's not a real nickname, but sometimes I'll refer to James as like Jim Jams. Yeah. Or
Jim James. As many
Video James.
Video James, yeah.
Jimber Jams.
Those
are not really nicknames. It's just like a thing that I do.
James is still in my phone as the Ken Burns effect. from that video.
So even like text he sends you?
Yeah, any text for the
Ken Burns
Ken Burns effect.
Nice.
I would really call that a nickname though, because I don't call him that regularly. No. It's just my phone that calls him that.
Lawrence asks, when you begin actually showing off your work, how did you overcome the sense of I can't share this, it isn't good enough? I don't know. I've never really had a huge sense of that.
Doing it on the internet helps.
Yeah.
It took me a long time before I could actually be like in the same room with somebody watching it on the computer. I found that to be quite uncomfortable a lot of especially when we first started out.
I know that Kathleen still has that. Like she doesn't like watching specifically herself. She doesn't like seeing herself act.
I don't mind watching our own videos myself. But just like if somebody else was like, oh, there's a new Loading Ready Run video, let's watch it. I'm like, ooh.
I love watching it with people. I love sort of seeing reactions and responses and stuff.
And I'm definitely more like that now. When we first started, though, it was something that took a while to sort of get used to.
I guess it's just you gotta try to have confidence in it. Like, if you like it, share it, and if someone else doesn't like it, that's cool. Like, that's fine. They're allowed to not like it.
Yeah,
but that's always been our thing is we make what we like, and we hope that other people like it too.
And that's a big thing too. Is like if you show it to a friend or your parents or whatever, and they're like, okay, like didn't really get that. You'd be just like, okay, sure, whatever.
Yep.
Like you don't take it personally. If one person doesn't like it or whatever, just because that person happens to be there in person.
There's another chicken wing question. Josh asks, I know you're going to be attending the Calgary Expo. Who of the group is going, and will you sign my Desert Bus 6 poster? So absolutely we'll sign the poster. Myself and James and Kathleen are going.
And I believe I will be going as well.
Great.
Assuming that there's nothing terrible happens with the palsy and so forth.
And Matt wants to go, but we hadn't planned for that, hotel room wise. So we'll see.
He could have mentioned that at some point.
Oh, he did this weekend, and I was like,
could have mentioned at some point sooner.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll hopefully Matt.
All right.
What is the average airspeed of an unladen Canadian moose? I don't believe you can actually remove a moose from the ground. So, like, you can hit him with like a sled and like a something with like a front-loaded ramp truck or something that's meant to like fling things, and it'll just bend around the moose. And, like, a moose doesn't leave the ground unless he wants to.
I think you can knock the feet out so he goes down. He just doesn't go up.
No, not going to go up. No. Devin asks, why doesn't Paul have Twitter? It's like you're listening live.
Because I don't have Twitter because there's nothing particularly I want to say on Twitter, I guess.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
If you could work with any, as Bradley asks, if you could work with any one person of your choice on any of your projects, who would it be? God, that is a broad-ranging question. I think we've done something similar to that before. I think we said Edward James Olmos just because we want the running gag to have a payoff.
Yeah, that would be a pretty awesome payoff. Like working with, like, I'd love to, like, there's sort of two types of working, like somebody, you know, famous or whatever. There would be like basically using them as a stunt cast, you know, like we've used
as a joke,
like we've used Will Wheaton on various occasions.
Yeah.
But then there would be actually like working with somebody would be quite interesting. You know, working like some, you know, people who sketch comedians who, you know, I admire. It would be awesome, even if they weren't like in the sketch, to like just, you know, kick ideas around with, you know, somebody, you know, with whatever, you know, Stephen Fry or somebody.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
That would be super cool.
That'd be amazing. John asks a collab question time. Will there be any future collaboration with Zero Punctuation? I think we could do that again.
It's entirely possible, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously a little tricky with him being so far away, but we can do digital stuff, and occasionally we're in the same spot. So
yeah. Aaron asks, a lot of creative or work teams have drama somewhere along the way, but you guys always seem to get along. Has there ever been behind the scenes Loading Ready Run drama, or are you all too nice and rational for that? I think we're pretty rational.
Pretty rational. I mean, we have disagreements about stuff.
I'm trying to remember. There was a sketch like 5 years ago that you and I didn't agree on. And it wasn't was it Buttstellation?
Buttstellation, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Buttstellation that I was not super stoked about.
Yeah. Because your reasoning, if I recall, which is fair. See, this is the thing, is like we disagreed, but we never like got upset, was that in a 5-minute self-contained video, it doesn't make sense to cut to a different sketch halfway through. If it was part of at least this is what you said at the time, if it was part of a longer form thing, like a half-hour show, then it would work for the characters to abandon their own sketch, but it didn't make as much sense in the context of just a 5-minute video.
I think it's also I'm not personally a big fan of self-destructing sketches either. You know, sketches that sort of stop and be like, nope, we're not going to do this. This is dumb, or whatever. So I think that was, but you know, it's, yeah.
I think we eventually, and we talked about it a while before we actually shot it, and I think we eventually did because.
Yeah, I mean, because the problem is when you run into these situations where like, you know, I was like making various suggestions as to what I thought might have helped. But then you get to a point where it's like now we're sort of halfway into a different sketch and it doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know what, forget it. Let's just do it how it was originally. Yeah. And I'm sure it'll be good.
I think my original argument for, and it turned out really well, I think at least. But my original argument for it was like, well, we do something different every week. Let's just fucking try it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just that I really wanted to have the characters in a sketch say like, this is the silliest thing we've ever done, and then like one of them try to be like, what you mean, like in the like one of them try to roll with it in the context of the thing, and the other one be like, no, I mean like, no, like forget that, I mean like this sketch is really silly. I just really like that. I don't know why.
I think we've probably done sillier sketches.
We probably have
since yeah.
that reminds me of a great behind the scenes thing. It was behind the scenes for the Loading Ready Rumble. There's a shot on the blooper reel for that season where I'm in my full G-Star outfit. So I'm in the full orange jumpsuit with the sunglasses. I don't know why I was still wearing the sunglasses and the toque, lying on my back in a field behind tall grass, operating Gib. And I'm like, this is one of the strangest situations I've ever been in. And you're like, really? No. And I'm like, what do you mean? And you were adamant. You're like, you've definitely been in stranger situations than this. And I'm like, look at what I'm dressed like with a puppet lying on the ground in the middle of a field in broad daylight. Yeah. And you're like, no.
Loading Ready Run. There's always something stranger.
Mm-hmm. Mikey asks, will Paul learn the Shawnigan handshake before the palsy is gone? I don't know what that is.
Neither do I.
All right, let me look it up. There's a... I'll ask you the next question first. Jordan asks, is there any interest in setting up a subscriber system on Twitch? It's $5 a month for no ads, like because people can subscribe to. People can subscribe to specific Twitch channels.
Right.
It's like a $5 subscription, and then they don't get any ads there, and then Twitch and the subscribers split that money.
Right.
I mean, I guess we could. I don't think we can have viewers. Actually, is the problem. I think you have to have a viewer, like a minimum viewer shelf, to be able for Twitch to do that for you.
Right. I mean, in principle, we'd have nothing wrong with it, but I thought it was that you just paid $5 to Twitch. Like you have to pay $5 for each channel that you want to subscribe to.
So Twitch Turbo is $8 or $9 a month, and is just ad free everywhere.
Oh, okay.
And whenever a subscriber or whenever a channel would play an ad, and a Twitch Turbo viewer sees it, the channel still counts as an ad view.
Right.
But the user doesn't see it, and they get custom smileys. Right. That's about it.
But this other thing is different.
Yeah, this other thing is different. This was around before the Twitch Turbo thing, but they still have both. But this is if you just want to support that subscriber specifically.
Oh, okay.
You can just do $5 a lot of channels have stuff set up where if you are a subscriber, you can put the chat room in subscription only mode, so that only subscribers can chat if it gets too crazy, or you can have it
special premium stuff for subscribers,
special smileys and special emoticons to use in the chat, or like a special icon or something, that you can give to subscribers for doing that. So like it's a cool system. I think something we want to look at doing more is using our Twitch channel for other stuff other than just the Magic streams. And if that goes ahead and is successful, then yes, that's something we'd look at. The Shawnigan handshake is when Jean Chrétien put a chokehold on a protester.
Oh, I see.
In Shawnigan, Quebec. It was...
I do not plan on chokeholding anybody, but, who knows? Anyway, I think we want to finish up pretty quick here. So.
All right, I'll try and knock through some more questions. Dear Doctors, Loading Ready Run, asks Catherine. Did any of you give the strip search challenges a try yourself?
We tested the fax machine.
Yeah.
I actually had a party.
I'd actually just played fax machine before.
Yeah, but Kathleen took us through it at a party, like with the whole explanation and stuff, just to actually make sure that people could understand it. Mm-hmm. And I did the drawing.
I did the blind drawing with Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was drawing and he was describing. We did one of the ones that showed up in the show, actually, the guy doing like the yelling and the pointing at his junk.
Right.
It worked out pretty well. That's about it.
We definitely did.
I've been on the duck tour.
Yeah. We did test the things that could be tested by people without artistic ability.
Yeah. Do you think the hackers from the NASA conspiracy will return anytime soon?
It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Those are fun characters.
I enjoyed those characters a lot. That was a question from Jeff. Albert asks, what are your plans for PAX Prime? We'll be going. No current plans yet. We only just had PAX East. Thomas asks, if you met an exact copy of yourself, same memory, same personality, do you think you'd get along? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Because we'd understand each other perfectly.
He'd be super cool.
Yeah. I guess the problem is that we'd both try to go for the same joke at the same time.
Yeah, it'd be kind of annoying that someone's like stepping on your jokes all the time.
We'd have to make sure that there was like we'd have to alternate who was leading the sketch, basically. The sketch of our lives.
Well, you wouldn't be like hanging out together all the time.
That's true.
Necessarily. Think of how much editing you could get done.
Mm-hmm. Sally asks, question for Graham or Kathleen, as with all stars of the screen, will Kathleen be keeping DeVere? Yes, she will, because that's an awesome name. We are both in favor of her keeping DeVere. Also, Kathleen Stark, just... And
then you got like Stark DeVere is weird.
No. She's got... Her Her dad chose that last name. Darn it, she's going to keep it. Do any members of Loading Ready Run play League of Legends? I think James has dabbled with it, but
not too much.
Not
Bill
really.
and Morgan used to play it.
Yeah, this was the question pertains to Morgan and Bill's love of playing Dota. I think Bill plays League of Legends. Henry asks a question that makes no sense. King Cool, GPLP, stand by on that. And what's your favorite potato dish? I had scalloped potatoes for the first time the other day, and it was delicious.
Oh, really? You never had scalloped potatoes?
No.
Oh.
Used a lot of cheese.
Yep.
And cream.
Yep.
And it was real good.
I am a big fan of potatoes in many different forms.
Mm-hmm.
I had cream cheese mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving one time.
Oh yes, mashed potatoes.
Those were pretty ridiculous.
Yep.
But just I often actually just like eat baked potato. Like that's like one of my go-to, side dishes just for regular meals. Just baked potatoes because I like baked potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So potatoes, yeah.
Adam asks, will you ever play a full game of Magic between you guys on an episode of Tap Tap Concede, be it standard, modern, pack war, etc.? I mean, we could. We could do a pack war.
Yeah. I mean, we probably won't show the entire game.
Pack war is pretty quick.
Yeah, but like everything anything on I don't know. I guess pack war wouldn't be too bad.
Mm-hmm. Peter asks, what's the weirdest, funniest game glitch you've ever come across?
We went over the whole.
I think I told the Zelda.
story
We
went over
pretty recently.
Yeah. We definitely told the Zelda story already.
Sorry, go to the comment thread for this podcast on the Loading Ready Run forums, and presumably someone else will have linked to the pertinent podcast where I go over that story because it's long.
We quite recently had a glitches one.
Matthew asks, in the event of a strip search DVD, will there be an extended cut of things we didn't see due to time or lack of relevance? I don't know about an extended cut, but I can see some other footage. We have a lot of other footage.
Yeah, there's a lot of other footage, and we have lots of behind the scenes, not footage, but photos, which I'm sure could make their way in somehow.
Mm-hmm. Do any of the crew follow? Donovan asks, do any of the crew follow the C64 demo scene? It's a great source for chiptunes, if nothing else. I didn't even know.
Huh? No. I guess. Yeah.
Lord Hosk asks 3 questions. I will pick one. How soon do you predict you will outgrow this moon base? Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. I mean, we're pretty comfy where we are right now, I think. Mm-hmm. The only thing that is a little cramped is actually Desert Bus.
Yeah.
But we can't really get a new moon base just for Desert Bus.
No.
But I don't know, maybe there's a possibility that maybe we'll have to move Desert Bus somewhere else. But we're pretty happy with this in terms of actual production stuff.
And then there's just 5 more questions. They look pretty short. So, one of the questions is Paul coming to Calgary this year? So hopefully. James asks, do the LRR crew have preferred drinks of an alcoholic nature? Myself, I like beer, and not especially hoppy or malty beers.
Is there anyone that you're a big fan of right now?
The Blanche de Chambly by Unibrow, which I hear people pronounce Unibrew, but it's gotta be Unibrow. Like, I know it's French, it's from Quebec, but they know what they're doing. It's gotta be Unibrow. It's spelled Unibrou, right? Unibrow.
Yeah.
Right?
There needs an umlaut to really make it Unibrow.
But still though. Anyway, Blanche de Chambly is just a really nice light beer. I really enjoy it. Also locally, the Driftwood White Bark. It's a Hefeweizen. If it's not a beer, it's a rum and coke. And I can answer for James, it's a rum and coke.
I don't drink alcohol, so no.
What is your go-to song to perform at karaoke? Asks Shannon. Baby Got Back.
Baby Got Back?
Unless there's a group of us, in which case...
Backstreet's Back.
Backstreet's Back.
Anything with back in the name.
Backs.
Yeah.
Now that I've seen the new shirt design, payday cannot come quickly enough. That's not a question, but thank you.
Yes.
The muffin shirt is back, and we have a wizard chat shirt, so go check those out. And what is the best kind of dessert? All right, Jay Blank asks, what is the best dessert regarding 1, tensile strength, 2, cost to taste ratio, and 3, utility in combat?
Okay, utility in combat. Ooh. Either like a some sort of extremely dense fruitcake.
Yep.
Or
like trying to think of something like really hard.
Or really spiky.
Yeah, I can't really think of a dessert that's especially.
Ooh,
how
about those like rock candy?
Ooh, yeah.
Things. Those things can be nasty.
Yeah. Or Japanese shaved ice. You could just throw it in their face. Just whoops. Sorry.
Tensile strength.
Like taffy? Like what?
Yeah, I think it's got to be something like that. Yeah.
Especially
Tootsie
thick
Roll.
Caramel. Yeah.
Now the important one: cost to taste ratio.
That's tough.
I mean,
it's probably just ice cream.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like my go-to is ice cream. I mean, I actually often prefer like a small chunk of sorbet or something, or gelato.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a huge big thing of ice cream.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is you get like a thing of gelato and then one of the little teeny spoons, and then you just
take a while to. Actually, what really really good, unrelated, just an entertaining dessert, is something called an affogato. Which is not a coffee drink, though it involves coffee, and it's a scoop of ice cream or sorbet with a shot of espresso poured over it.
Seems solid.
It's real good.
You have to choose your ice cream or sorbet fairly carefully, though.
Yes,
something that works with.
I wouldn't recommend like citrus. Let me make sure I got that name right. It could be affogato, but then you get confused with africano, and it's a whole
actually
mess.
In terms of cost ratio, what I really like is there's a Japanese restaurant here in Victoria that when your meal is done, the thing that they give you with your bill is like basically like an After 8 square. And the best thing ever.
Oh yes.
Put the After 8 square in your mouth and then take a big glug of a hot green tea.
Of the tea, yeah.
Of green tea, and they have it melt in your mouth. That's super good.
It's similar to the something I learned recently, the Tim Tam Slam.
Yeah, I believe it is a variation on the Tim Tam Slam.
Yeah, if you have obviously any Australians will know exactly what we're talking about, and some British people as well, I think. Tim Tams, you can get them most places now. They're a little sort of like chocolate wafer biscuit, about that big for the people listening, like about 3/4 of an inch wide and several inches long. There's a little chocolate biscuit covered in chocolate. And what you do is you get your tea, ideally some black tea. You bite either end off the Tim Tam, and then you use it like a straw. And you suck tea through it, and it just liquefies the inside, and you just get
nice.
And you get all the gooey chocolate.
I don't know if that would be what I was talking about would be considered very expensive because you have to eat a whole meal at a Japanese restaurant, or free because they give it to you for free afterwards. So I don't know where that fits on the ratio, but
interesting point. That'll be a cause for much debate, I'm sure.
But yeah, I I'm gonna have to say ice cream. That's just simple.
It is indeed affogato, by the way. It's Italian for drowned. It's a scoop of vanilla gelato or ice cream topped with a shot of hot espresso.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and now I'm hungry.
Alrighty, let's go get some ice cream gelato.
All right. So thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you next time.